what's going on, guys? Give me a quick second here. And then let me know if you guys can hear me or not. Oh, tight. Sweet. Yeah, no, I did a cardinal sin, testing new software without first doing it, but I was just excited to try it. So here we are. Cool. All right. Let's get going. Let's do some. Ty, can you guys see the, add that? Yeah, you guys should be able to see market trend model now. Can you all see the market trend model? Got it. Cool. Excellent. Yeah. So, we had our pre-market video. You guys can go watch that if you want to. That's on, we did a YouTube live on that, or in the Discord. You guys can go. Oh, my bad. Share screen. Sorry, I just shared the window and not the entire screen. So here we go. Cool. Yeah. So, all right. In the Discord, we have our SPX game plan. The write up in there, that's exactly what we went through in the YouTube live this morning. Currently looking at spot price, right? We're right in the middle of the transition zone. Had that nice push against 67, off of 6,700 up to 6,725. Get to what has transpired since that in a second, though. Just setting the boundaries real quick. Looking at transition zone, right? Top of Drunken Tether was 6760. So we are right at it right now. So pretty critical point in the structure in terms of, how we look at it. Thing to note, though, right now is looking at our intraday volume analysis. Let me get there. So this in the Discord, right? Produces every 5 minutes. Here we're just looking at the centroids of SPX 0DT call and put volume. So call is green. Red is the put volume. So I haven't looked at this in a couple of days. But every 5 minutes, right, we get the distribution of volume. Find the middle point of that distribution called centroid. We plot that. So throughout the session, like now, we can understand what the behavior of speculation is. So right from the open at 9:30 until 12:40 right now. Well, it's actually 12:45. All right, we had that push up, but since then there's been no speculation higher, right? Call speculation has been lower. And when we see those sustained moves higher, we see sustained move higher in the call speculation itself, which again has not transpired. Puts have started to move sideways to lower as well right now. So we can see the general trend, assuming all else equal right now, is sideways to lower. So be cognizant of that. Looking at the market trend model, fairly flat as well. Again, had that nice push higher in the early morning session. Again, this is based off the tick index. So you guys can go Google if you don't know what that is, but just a measurement of buying and selling under the hood of the market. A little bit of a sustained filtered tick early in the session, which is the measure of significant buying versus significant selling. Since then has really flatlined. Everything's flatlined. Thing that we noted this morning is, so in simplistic terms, just the bullish momentum indicator from the market trend model signaled on today, right? That signaled off last Tuesday or Wednesday. And so that trigger is important because that's what is the key gate of our two mechanical strategies, the P transit plus GEX, which is just based off key levels that we derive from the options market. And the other one is our wheel strategy, right? Options-based strategy. We just put a little bit of our flair on it in terms of options market analysis and understanding, there's institutional momentum behind those names. So that did turn on today. keep in mind something that we've been saying is that when this fresh signal turns on, like this is a no duh comment, but this is prone to failure. What we want to see is a continuation higher and see that signal transform from, in our nomenclature, it's called a TC4 to a TC3. So that just basically means it transitions from a trigger day into a continuation day, follow through day, whatever you want to call it. So we're watching intently right now because the reason that's important is from the P transit plus X standpoint. If this signal was to fail intraday, then those positions we entered today, we would be exiting. And just looking at that today, right? We just had a big note there talking about that. Again, this is all based on back tested data we do through EdgeRater. So I'm not, making anything up. All that back testing is visible either in our blog or in the Discord itself. So feel free to look at that. I'm actually going to get out of chat here for there. Let me see. So yeah, entries today, right? Cisco, Google, Visa, assuming you had room in your portfolio to enter those. Let's see, we entered all those trades today. So again, assuming TC4 stays on, we will be keeping those until we get an exit signal, or if TC4 fails to hold today, then we will be getting out of those names. Then exits, if these were in your portfolios, Bank of America, J&J, and then Pepsi. And then looking at the wheel strategy, right? Again, we give you, these are based off our scan results, right? So the various different scanners we have that are looking for bullish conditions in options market structure terms. And then, there's some other, technical metric we put on there, which is Minervini trend template, which, right, is just finding institutional momentum. And then we literally tell you the exact expiration and the exact strike to pick. This is based off of the return on the option that we're looking for, the preferred expiration, probability of expiring out of the money, all that good stuff. Again, we have a blog article where we wrote all of this, or in the Game Edge Fast Pass. You guys can check that out. And if you don't know how to access that, if you just go to gameedge.us, free courses, Game Edge Fast Pass, everything a paid member gets, right? This is basically all of our knowledge. We really don't hold any education back. We don't put it behind a paywall, anything like that. So this is all our entire methodologies, tools, frameworks, strategies, systems, all that good stuff. So free to give it a go. And then, right, if you're a swing trader, zero DT trader, we have some pages there, kind of understanding how we help those kind of traders. So you guys can give that a review. Yeah, so if you guys have any questions, let me know. I'm happy to run through. It looks like we're making lower days right now. Kind of prior day high, right in the middle of our transition zone. So just keep in mind with that. 67. Yeah, here, so this is just a summary of our 3D surface models, right? All the various Greeks. We just have a nice kind of summary presentation. You can think of the left-hand plane strike, right-hand plane strike is kind of the two peaks above and below spot price, right? These labels just telling us which side is in control. So like looking at delta, net delta column as an example, in the money calls are in control below spot price. In the money puts are in control above spot price. Net fairly similar in terms of if you were to sum all the deltas below spot price, all the deltas above spot price, given the slight edge to in the money call. So that's how you read that. Looking at charm, right? Charm in the overhead is weighing down on us. So, price is melting down, charm weighing down on us right now. Gamma, just looking at those key sensitivity points in the structure. So again, 6670 is kind of a key sensitivity point, which I think we've shot through at this point. So now looking to the downside, really want to be intent on 6640 if we do see some further kind of negative momentum to the downside. But yeah, there's a question. How often are we getting dashboard updates? Yeah, so the dashboard updates in near real time. We cache data like on a 1 or 2 minute interval, maybe 5 minutes. But yeah, the Greeks are always being constantly updated. It's just spot price we're we're caching that data every couple of minutes, which it's not a big deal, right? Like you don't need this to be, in our opinion, you don't need this to be instantaneous updating as soon as you hit the refresh button. Structure is not changing that fast. But like if that is a concern, then you can go in the Discord. You can run a quick command just to confirm those levels, because the Discord is always in real time as soon as you hit that command. The tool you used today to find the transformation point. So that the key thing I look at that really gives you a good visual is looking at the volume command, right? We went through that in the beginning. Not sure, Tom, when you joined, but right. This is just, quickly again going over the SPX0DT volume. We're looking at the centroids, which is the middle point of the distribution on a 5-minute over 5-minute basis. We can get an understanding of how speculators are behaving throughout the session. So, looking at the snapshot, because it's the latest that has been produced by us. This is from 9:30 to 12:50. So, right, I mean, it's very obvious where we stopped seeing that upside speculation happen. That was right around the 10:30. 10, 10:20, 10:30 Eastern time. And since then, it's just been more or less just a move lower in the call speculation, right? And in environments where we see sustained move higher, we see, we see that call speculation at least flat, worst case scenario flat, especially moving higher. In the put centroid side, we are seeing that continue to move higher, which obviously those are not the conditions we're seeing right now. We're in fact kind of seeing the opposite, where puts are more or less flat, calls are moving lower. So again, kind of the bias right now is sideways lower, to be honest with you, but we're right in the middle of our transition zone too. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, Jeffrey, our data feeds, kind of what I just said, it's in real time in terms of recalculating Greeks, getting spot price, all that good stuff, right? Open interest, open updates, pre-market, all that good stuff. Yeah, so we have a heat map that we have R&D in the Discord, right? If you're in the Discord, you guys can go check that out under technical questions. I'm not showing that here publicly because, like I said, it is in R&D, and yeah, that's my comments on that. So if you guys want to access that, feel free to do that. And our heat map is a bit more than just showing gamma and Vanna. We've developed a way of combining the various Greeks to kind of present in all-in-one picture that we're finding pretty useful. As you can imagine, though, the development effort is quite robust into getting that into our web app and all that stuff. So that's what we're working on right now. Hoping to get a prototype out there. Yeah, it's exactly what I mean, R&D. It's in R&D right now still. Yeah, so we're getting down to 66.50 now, kind of getting the prior day close. Kind of key sensitivity point we're looking at from our net stack command, 66.40. So I mean, we're dang near there. Yeah, looking at Tesla. I was looking at Tesla earlier today, but it had earnings next week, so didn't end up doing anything there. I mean, it's above its transition zone, right? This is just a script here, but we can go look at what the actual structure looks like. Yeah, and Tom, I mean, I'm not being secretive of anything. Like I said, like we post it in the Discord, so feel free to go in there and look at it. I just not going to post it publicly right now because, like I said, it's still in R&D. So, but yeah, Tesla, it's above its transition zone, call dominated structure. That's very clear where the transition changes. Between kind of 25 and 30, so we really want to see 30 hold. Clear upside speculation, kind of 50 that first target. So yeah, Tesla looks fine. It's just kind of more of a broader market, what's happening, and it's got earnings next week. So yeah, I mean, looking at this week, the monthly expiration this week looks fine. Certainly called dominated. I think it has earnings next week, right? Earnings are a crapshoot though. Like, no idea how price is going to react, but I mean, folks are positioned positively right now. So EOSE. Tom, hopefully that answers your question on Tesla. If it does not, let me know. EOSE. I have a feeling this stock's probably not in our database. We can give it a look though. It is a stand corrected. Yeah, so I mean, this thing is super bowled up. Looks like this is being driven by the energy, AI energy, all that good stuff. No, battery storage. Got it. Yeah, I don't. Obviously, the energy grid or something super important. So probably a reason why it's more than doubled in 2 weeks or whatever. Certainly a lot of activity there, bowled up. Not something I'm super interested in because it looks like right now it's just a parabolic move higher. So kind of tough to size your risk per se. But if you're in this, like, congrats, Steve, and a great move. Yeah, a couple other things we can go over real quick. Looking at the swing game plan, right? Kind of like the SPX, I just put some commentary on what the swing, from a swing trading point of view, what it's telling us. And right, I mean, it's the same thing we went over, kind of toe in the water right now. Just giving kind of the fresh signal higher, right? There's a couple watch lists we produced for y'all. These scatter plots are sometimes useful. Well, not sometimes, I find them useful. That's why I plot them. And it's really just an easy way to kind of see where the stocks we want to be honed in on are. And by those, according to our methodology, is if it is above the x-axis, that means it's below plus x, which is our upside target, kind of where concentration of short-term call speculation is. That's our short-term target. And then if it's to the left of the y-axis, that means it is above P level. So, right, the further up it is and the closer to the y-axis means the better risk to reward, right? Because it's closer to P-trans, more distance to plus x. And the further out over here it is, risk reward is not as appealing just because it's kind of in between plus x and P-trans. So you can see a lot of stocks are kind of shifted over this way right now. Not a ton kind of up here. Like, yeah, First Solar, MSCI. These stocks are below P-trans, so these are good. These are good candidates. So, like, if we see a move above P-trans, that could kind of be an acceleration point. So, looking at this is the bearish point of view, where right, it's like below N-trans, distance to negative GEX, all that good stuff. So yeah, let me know if you guys have any other questions. I think we're getting comments from Twitter. I know YouTube comments are coming in. So yeah, happy to stay on as long as y'all have something you want to talk about. If not, then we can call it a day. I don't mind. One last request. Yeah, well, Tom, no worries, man. You're the only one, or you're the only one speaking up, so don't mind at all. MSTR, yeah, I mean, obviously driven by Bitcoin. This was for what it's worth, it was on our bear list today. That and the IBIT ETF, the Bitcoin ETF, both on the bear list. So not ideal, right? I mean, it's below moving averages. It's you believe in that stuff, right? The market pays attention to it. So I just slap it on the chart, just a quick kind of momentum gauge. And then, yeah, I mean, it's breaking down. So not ideal. Yeah, not a name I'm trying to get long in right now. Better days ahead of it, but those aren't right now. It's kind of at its upper bounds of short-term speculation right now. So if we did, see a consolidation, it's not crazy. COTMC, that's kind of just the fulcrum or balance point between where out of the money calls start to go in the money. So kind of a monetization level there. We oftentimes see just consolidation, digestion within this level. So just a good one to keep in mind there. RGTI, this thing's been ripping. I think this is another. Never mind, this is quantum computing. Thought this was another energy name. Looking at Palantir, I mean, it's right at its P-trans level, so key level here. See if it can hold or not. We can go look at the structure real quick of Palantir. Yeah, so I mean, kind of a key inflection point right here in the name. Keep in mind though, market is starting to roll over a little bit intraday. Just looking at the market trend model. Ever so slightly seeing some significant selling ticks come in. Again, ever so slightly. The unfiltered cumulative tick though is starting to roll over a little bit. So keep that in mind. We can also see the RSP ETF, which is this neon line, been, yeah, I mean, this is pretty brutal sell-off now. Right, 66.40. This was the key inflection point with the net stack command. So not ideal if this gets lost here. Again, I'm just looking at what our transition zones are at today. So yeah, I mean 40. I mean, we're still in the middle of transition zone. Obviously, 40 is key strike from the net stat. Then 25 is going to be kind of the next one. Nice 100-point range on the day. Yeah, I mean, just looking at volume, right? It's been pretty definitive sideways to lower for a bit of the session now. Right, and especially, what's key when looking at this, especially like, the most recent slice is there should be another one coming out here. All in the actual centroid line, which is a solid line in relation to the line of best fit, which is the dashed line, right? The line of best fit is just a linear regression based off of everything that's happened so far. And so when you see the actual centroid itself below the line of best fit, what that tells you is that if we're below the line, it's getting worse, it's deteriorating. Or if it's above, then it's accelerating higher. So right now, right, both the put side and the call side, we're seeing further deterioration to the downside. So right, as long as that happens, then these lines of best fit are going to, the rate of change of those is going to continue to go lower and lower and lower. And then, right, just looking at the market model again in real time, that's pretty steep angle to descent we're starting to see there. So not super ideal. Well, it depends on what's out of the market. Always itching to be long, so that's why we always just default to talking kind of to the long trader. Here I'm just looking at our trading chat and seeing what's being posted. Obviously, VIX futures are popping. Yeah, it's a good visualization. Here's our transition zone. This was to the range transition zone. pretty aggressive move. There. I'm sure there's some chatter in the Discord, but I'm here with you guys, so all good. Let me know if you guys have any other questions. If you guys have a comment, if you guys have been leaving comments in Twitter or YouTube, what is show comments on the stage? Oh, sweet. Oh, cool. They come up there. Do we have a live session in your Discord? Yeah, we do. What is this? Does this annotate? I don't know. I'll try later. Yeah, but this is a trading floor right here. And so we got, I don't know how many, 50 people in there right now. Yeah, we've been chatting throughout the day. Keep in mind, like, if you're expecting 24/7 chatter in there, you're not going to get that. Everyone has a life. I don't care to stay at the screen 24/7. But yeah, I mean, when there's significant moments in the market and all that good stuff, then, all day last Friday we were chatting. As we have time, we chat away in there. So, and then, yeah, I mean, the trading chat itself is always active and posts and all that good stuff. So hopefully that answers your question, Tom. Ooh, that's nasty. Lifts. Oh, let's have a look. Lift. I mean, the structure is fine, right? It's call dominated. Kind of tapping out here at 20, which is, we call this plus GAX, which is just where the concentration of short-term speculation is. So yeah, I mean, you really want to see it hold above 20. I mean, there's certainly enough upside speculation here, but I mean, sometimes, stocks. So looking at lift in a vacuum, it looks fine. Just thing to consider, right, is 60-75% of stocks follow the broader market. So despite it looking good, SPX is getting hammered right now, and most stocks are following suit. So again, 66.22. We are now through the bottom of our transition of our drunken consider the range. So now really it's, how aggressive do sellers want to get here? Yeah, thanks for the interaction, Tom. Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, you can see this here too, the amount of put volume that's coming in, the waterfall. So all right, I'm not seeing any more questions in here, so appreciate the time from everyone being on. We'll try and do this more as the first time we've been using doing a simulcast between YouTube and Twitter here. We generally just go on YouTube intraday, but also no complaints, easy to use. So with that, you guys have a good rest of your day. Right, we'll be in the Discord chat and all that good stuff. But we'll see you all bright and early tomorrow with the pre-market prep. So thank you.